One thing we're doing to make this LS swap easier, and I'm about to finalize it. This is a G-Force LS mock-up block. In case you ever pick one of these up, depends on how many LS swaps you're going to do. It's really neat because you can check your accessories, your manifold, your intake, all of that stuff. Weld your motor mounts, do whatever before you put it in. Now, I could do a how-to on this, but really, these guys did a really good job. Everything's labeled. You just line the letters up. Then after that, we bend these in, hammer them down, and we're locked in. Then we do the bottom plate. So I'm going to knock that out. That did make it a lot more rigid. Once you got that, repeat the same process on the front. As you pull these tabs in, you can feel it getting, the whole structure getting tighter. So I'm going to be curious if it actually fully makes this thing rigid or not. We'll see. Then the only other piece after that is the oil pan plate. Wow, you hear the sound start changing? Huh. That's definitely getting rigid. It really pulls together. Huh. That seems pretty solid compared to what it was. I was a little skeptical, but that really did pull together. All these tabs pulled in real nice. Boy, what you can do with somebody who's very good with engineering, very good with CAD, and very good with a plasma cutter. Alright. The last step is going to be this. And it does have letters, OP. And this has letters in the front. So the letters OP here, OP here. That's where she goes. Alright, we're going to tap that down, and then we are ready to rock. Alright, so now with this, we can check our intake, our front accessories, our oil pan, our motor mounts. I can even take the bell housing and bolt that up back here and see what our clearance is going to be in the Rambler. Now with the Rambler, I know this is going to be pretty tight in here. I still got to get those factory mounts out. But I want to know well before I start putting this together if we've actually got room and everything. Also, I'm going to be working on this engine bay this weekend to get all of this cleaned up. Whether it's wiring, whether it's hoses, whether, I mean, we have to paint this engine bay first, you know? So the concept of having an actual painted engine bay, I don't want an engine just wobbling around all bimbly mimbly inside of here. I want it to know exactly where my clutch, my hydraulic clutch is going to go. I want to know where the bell housing is going to sit. I want to know how my manifolds are fitting. I don't want to go scratching this all up. Because it's not exactly like we go painting engine bays all the time at Dented Dreams Garage. In fact, for the most part, other than the Monte Carlo, they just get painted black, which works. Because if your black gets messed up, you just, you know, paint it more black. But not this time. So it's gonna look good. I think this mock-up is gonna be useful. I got a couple other buddies that will be doing LS swaps, so this thing will get to go to them. G-Force, that thing looks awesome. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and toss a coat of paint on this thing though, because obviously just from its little bit of sitting, it did get some surface rust, so I don't want that steel rusting. All right, well, I painted this so it wouldn't rust. Time for this sucker to go in the engine bay. Probably the worst paint job I've ever done. There's runs. It didn't need to be pretty. I painted it in the dark. It looks kind of cool though. Alright, so now that this is assembled, go ahead and bolt the oil pan to it, because once we get it in there, we're going to be looking to see if those mounts actually work. I got it upside down. Yeah. Alrighty. YouTube magic. Oil pan will be on. Alright, our oil pan is on there. Now for our motor mounts. Basically they're going to be like this as far as the mount is concerned. These are going to weld onto the frame. If I can hold this in a way that makes sense. The bushing will go in between. Should work. Provided I weld it right. But we're going to get these mounted. Not actually certain which way they go. They could go like this, or they could go like that on the other side. I'm going to say they go the other way, because that engine mount just looks like it would shove the engine. This is the front of the motor. It just seems way too far forward. Of course, I pulled them off my old motor. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the engine mount should be right more in the center. I'm going to swap those around. Not 100% sure. It just doesn't look right having a motor within 4 inches of the front. Motor mount within 4 inches of the front. So that looks much more correct here. Never used a motor mount like this before, but it would be kind of neat when you just set the engine on top and put your bolts through. So that is kind of cool. Onward! So this is basically what we're going for here. Motor mount, bushing. That'll weld onto the the engine cradle. Another bolt and bushing underneath. That's basically what we're going for on each side. Alright, before I get into this engine bay, I've washed and cleaned the rest of the car real good, but I haven't washed this since the removal of the motor and everything. So I'm going to spray it down, some degreaser, let it soak for a few minutes, spray all this down before I even climb in here. But I want it a little bit cleaner before I start messing around. I am planning to strip the paint in the engine bay as well this weekend. Hopefully. It just depends on how this motor mount stuff goes. And I got to get the old mounts out of there, obviously.